How we doing, everybody? You guys hear me? Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me, have good audio and whatnot. How we doing, everybody? You guys hear me? All right, man. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The Ravens, they fall to the Buffalo Bills, 20-23, and an absolute gut-wrenching, heartbreaking loss, man. Just what another disappointing way to lose. This team right now should be 4-0. 4-0 going into your Week 5 matchup against your division rival, the Cincinnati Bengals. Instead, here we are, 2-2. You had a chance to be 4-4 against all AFC rivals. Guys, teams that are going to be competing with you when it comes to the playoff race down the line. And we couldn't find a way to win. Let me tell you something. Hats off to the Bills. Obviously, they won this game. They beat us fair and square. I don't know about the fair and square part. The refs are a little bit sus. But hats off to the Bills. Mark, what's up, man? Appreciate you being here. This one hurt, bro, but we'll bounce back. Just need an identity. You're right. There's a lot of optimism, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about the good, the bad. But I just wanted to come on here, have some Ravens therapy, hang out with you guys, and just get some stuff off my chest, man, because that was just an absolute crushing loss. But the fact that you had a chance, like a serious, not even a chance, but you should be 4-0 right now against all AFC opponents, you would have such an advantage down the line when it comes to your conference wins and the playoff race down the line. But hey, here we are, 2-2, sitting at 500. Our record says we're an average team, but we just took, the quote-unquote Super Bowl favorites, the best team in the NFL, to the wire. All right, I mean, we had a 20-3 lead, and the Buffalo Bills had no business winning this ball game. Somehow, the offense stalled multiple drives, and I don't put any of this on the defense, man. This defense played lights out. Let me know in the comments section what you guys thought of this defense, but I was impressed with the defense. I thought Mike McDonald called a heck of a game. Came in with a great game plan. I mean, we limited Stephon Diggs. Gabe Davis had like one or two catches. We kept the receivers in check. Our secondary showed up today, and they balled out. So that's one good thing that we can take away from the game. But let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get out the bads out of the way. All right. Let's talk about the bads, and then we'll get into the goods, and we'll talk about the refs. I appreciate everyone being here in the chat. So the number one bad thing I have, Lamar Jackson, the protection. Not Lamar. Lamar played an okay game. I thought he did enough to win. But, obviously the 4th and goal interception was devastating. I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily put that in his fault category. I mean, he had pressure right in his face, and he had to heave it up and give his receiver a chance, and the safety read it, got in front of it, and picked it off. But the protection, that was the first bad thing I have in my notes here, is the protection for Lamar was not very good. If you guys saw, obviously we didn't have a lot of sacks, but Lamar Jackson was running for his life, scrambling around. I saw a lot of times where he was dropping backpedaling and trying to make a throw off his back foot because he didn't have a clean pocket to really set his feet, step up, and fire. So he's definitely backpedaling a lot. The protection wasn't great. Mark said, appreciate you, bro, providing this space. We need this. Still have faith in this team, and all of our games coming down the wire. Can't leave our D hanging dry with no points second half. You're absolutely right, man. And that's what's so devastating is if you look in the second half, we had 2 drives where we're driving the ball, right? Moving the ball, and run game's working. Justice Hill had a couple nice, really big runs. Hopefully his injury isn't too serious. I know we talked about the Achilles. Hopefully, I saw he came out with a hamstring, so hopefully that's what it is and not the Achilles again. But moving the ball, and then we have that batted ball. Lamar Jackson tries to fire it to Mark Andrews over the middle. Defensive lineman bats it up, gets an interception. And that we were actually moving the ball on that drive. And then obviously the interception, again, drive the ball all the way down to the goal line. Nice big drive. Tie ball game. You have a chance to win the game right here. Harbaugh decides to go for it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of that. I've seen a lot of mixed bag opinions on that. Think about this, guys. Even if Harbaugh kicks that field goal and we go up with a 3-point lead, the Buffalo Bills marched right down the field after that interception, and they had first and goal, okay? So they had first and goal, and yeah, they milked the clock down and kicked the field goal, but do you not think that they would have scored a touchdown with 4 opportunities at first and goal? I mean, you saw the way Josh Allen was running the ball on us. There's a very high chance that he gets a touchdown there at first and goal. So even if we did kick that field goal and Josh Allen goes down there first and goal and scores a touchdown, we still lose that game. Maybe you get the ball back with a last-second chance, but even if we kick that field goal, we probably still lose that game. I don't put this game all on Harbaugh or the defense. The defense played great. I put it on the offense, just absolutely stalling out. And Brandon Badgley, what's up? I appreciate you coming in here. Gold Lion 198, appreciate you being here in the chat. Appreciate everyone who's here. Brandon said, Ravens need some fresh bodies. Not taking advantage of the talent on the board in the 4th round will sting. Oh, yeah, you're talking about some of those pass rushers. How about Michael Clemens? I was high on him, and you see he's kind of balling out already. I forget what team drafted him, but he's playing well. I really wanted to pick up Michael Clemens. Tariq Woolen and Amari Barno could have really helped with speed on defense. Yep. Amari Barno was that edge player, I think, that ran like a 4.3. Tariq Woolen, I think, ran a 4.29 or something. The Seahawks drafted him. Brandon said, right gold, Roquan, Kevin King, or Chris Harris needs to be in Baltimore. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so Joe Span, sorry if I butchered your name there, but I appreciate you being here in the chat. He said offense simply choked. You're right. The offense dried up. The way we were moving the ball, just in the first half, it was like a night and day between the two offenses. I mean, I know the rain started to come down, but it's just crazy that in the Dolphins game, you're up, 27-3, something crazy. Offense is rolling, humming, and then it dries out the second half. And then the teams come back, creep their way back into the game, and you blow a huge lead. Same thing today. Offense on fire, offense rolling. Put up 20 points in the first half against the number 1 defense in the NFL, and we squander it. We just blow it. It hurts, man. It hurts. So let's get into our next bad. Roughing the passer on 2nd and 15 with 2 minutes left. Josh Allen asks for call and gets it after the play. Man, let me know what y'all think. But, hey, Brandon Badgley, man, I appreciate you. Just so you know, you're my first ever Super Chat. Ever. First ever Super Chat. So, Brandon, I appreciate you, man. Seriously, I appreciate that. $4.99. Michael Clemens is a beast. Would love to see Chris Harris. Yes. The roughing, the passer was terrible. And if you saw, it wasn't a bang like the ref threw it as soon as he saw the hit. Josh Allen sits there crying like a baby, puts his hands up, and he's like, please, he hit me, right? Like, this is football, and I just got hit. Can I please have a call so you can bail my offense out for the 20th time? And the ref grants his request, throws the flag, and then they have a first down, man. That was a back-breaking play, just really hurt. The next bad I got is Chuck Clark. Man, I love Chuck Clark. He's such a good vet, such a good leader. He says the right things, does the right thing. But let me know what y'all thought of Chuck Clark. But I wrote down my notes all throughout the game, and his name came up multiple times for bad plays. I saw him get shook really bad. I think it was Khalil Shakir had a chance to make the tackle and missed the tackle. And then later in the game, he let Knox beat him on 3rd and 3, missed a couple big tackles. So I thought Chuck Clark had a little bit of a down game. Let me know what y'all thought. Yeah, man, these refs were terrible. Some of the worst officiating I've ever seen. No PI on Robinson is what I wrote down. Do you guys remember that play where Robinson is looking for a slant or a kind of a little sit route from Lamar Jackson over the middle, and Lamar Jackson put it on the money, maybe a little bit in front of him, but definitely a playable, catchable ball that could have moved the sticks and kept the offense rolling. And the defender gets there, not even like a bang-bang type of play. It gets there like a second before the ball actually gets there, just hammers him. No chance to make the catch on that because he gets absolutely hammered, and there's no PI call. But then later down, earlier, Mark Andrews puts his arm out, barely touches the defender, and then gets that offensive PI call. So I don't have a problem if you call the Mark Andrews PI call if you're going to call it fairly on both sides, but they weren't calling it fairly on both sides. They were like, hey, Mark Andrews touches the defender, catches the ball, you take that away, and we lost the touchdown on that. It would have been 1st and goal at the goal line there, but you don't call pass interference whenever you smash the wide receiver before the ball even gets there, and it wasn't even close. I mean, he got there well before the ball did. Let me know what y'all thought about the officiating, but I thought it was terrible, man. Some hits. I know the league wants to protect quarterbacks, and quarterbacks are the face of the NFL, but I'm all for getting clean licks on quarterbacks, so I don't fault them on that. So Ravens 76 more. At the end of the day, the coaching staff is our most dangerous Achilles. Joe Span, Chuck Clark is great, just an off game for him today. Like I said, I like Chuck Clark a lot. I just thought I wrote his name down a few too many times for some bad plays. And so hopefully he has a bounce back game. Joe said, man, Patrick Queen doesn't have that gene. Let's go ahead and talk about that, because I wrote down Patrick Queen in my notes as well. And I saw some guys on Twitter blowing up Patrick Queen, saying that, man, I kept giving him chances. I kept thinking that he's the guy. He can be the middle linebacker here in Baltimore, but he's just failed. He's disappointed time and time again. I'm not saying necessarily I feel that way, but that's what I saw on Twitter. But, I mean, look at it. The second game in a row where Patrick Queen gets hit in the chest. Not like – I mean, I understand if he's jumping up trying to make a diving catch or a ball way over his head and he drops an interception, but a ball hits him in the chest, and that would have turned the game, man, because that missed interception led to points, just like it did last week. So, I mean, what a killer that Patrick Queen doesn't come up with that. And, like, when it comes down to it, your leader of your defense, the guy wearing the mic, the middle linebacker, the inside linebacker, needs to show up and make big plays in big-time moments, and we're not seeing it. We're not seeing, like, okay, we need a play, and then Patrick Queen showing up, darting into the backfield, getting an interception, anything like that. It's just you got to make the plays that come to you, and so far he's failed on that. Let me know what y'all think of Queen. But, yeah, I agree with you, Joe. B. James said, Chuck, no way, and Bateman had a bad game. Yeah, I agree. I saw Bateman was sitting on the sideline for a while. I saw he got nicked up a little bit. I don't know if it was his ankle or his foot. But he should have been in the game more in the big-time moments on passing downs. I think the coaching staff pulled him because he had a couple drops. But the drops that he had were kind of like laser beams from Lamar Jackson, where he's trying to make a hands catch. There's no way to get his body behind it when the rain is pouring. I understand he's a wide receiver, gets paid to make those catches, but those are definitely hard catches. I saw, Stephon Diggs had drops from those type of lasers from Josh Allen where it was a hands catch and it goes right through. When the rain's pouring like that, it's definitely hard to make the catch. But yeah, Brandon said those two calls were vital. Mr. West, you're absolutely right. Terrible call on the Robinson PI and the Andrews call. The most damaging was the bogus roughing the passer call. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, Wes. Crucial. Ravens 76 B more. When is the NFL trade deadline? We're going to make a video on this. I don't know exactly when the trade deadline is. Maybe someone can Google it and let us know in the chat for Ravens 76 because I'm curious myself. But I think this is what's crazy about this team, guys. All right? We're going to get into the goods here because we just spent a bunch of time pooping all over this team and talking about the bads. But what's crazy is two of the better teams in the AFC, right? The favored Super Bowl pick with the Bills, they had no business winning that game. We were the better team in that. We just found a way to lose. I mean, we had turnovers. We had playmakers in the secondary. We were moving the ball on offense. Found a way to lose, man. Crucial turnovers at the end of the game. Obviously, the interception at the end. Just found a way to lose. But you took one of the best teams in the AFC, who you could be seeing in the AFC Championship, in the postseason, whatever, and you know you can beat them. Your players just went out there and proved it, that they can beat them. They just didn't finish. And if the Ravens can find a way to put together an offensive and a defensive game in the same game, they're going to be scary. I mean, number one offense in the NFL right now when it comes to points, at least going into this game. The defense was terrible the last few weeks. Had a couple good games, against the Jets. Patriots game was okay. But, I mean, this secondary just went out and shut down. Yeah, it was raining, but shut down the number one passing offense in the NFL. Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, both playing fantastic. I think a big solution to that secondary was they pulled Jalen Armour-Davis. If you saw, he was inactive. They were picking on the rookie. Not that I think he's a bad player, but he was just giving up a lot of big plays. They were targeting him every time he was in the game. But what a dangerous team this could be if they put together both sides of the ball. I mean, this defense can be something special. You see the talent in the secondary. You see, how about Odafe, man? How about him? How about showing up? And we've been talking about this, when you're on third down and long and you need a freaking play, you need to show up and get after the quarterback, and he did it. And I wrote that down in my notes. I thought Odafe had a great game. He had the forced fumble, he had the interception, and this is what also pisses me off about this game is I saw Odafe getting held multiple times, and they weren't calling it, but they were calling it on us on offense. They called Kevin Zeitler, Linderbaum, a couple guys for holding, which is fine. If you're going to call us for holding and we held, that's fine, but call it for the other team as well. But I saw multiple times their right tackle in particular had literally a hold of Adafe's horse collar, and he had a win off his rush, and you're blatantly holding him, and there's no call. I thought this was terrible officiating, man. Just absolutely bogus. Appreciate everyone being here in the chat. JEJB praying for a locker room mutiny to get rid of John Harbaugh. Ravens 76 be more. Brandon Stevens has no awareness. You know what? I'm going to disagree with you on that, JEJB. I thought Brandon Stevens has been playing good, man. I thought he's had some sticky coverage. He had a pass breakup early. I think he's been glued to his receiver most of the time. Had a really nice pass breakup in the end zone last week. I think Brandon Stevens is with your top three corners right now, with Marlon, Marcus, and Brandon Stevens. You throw our safeties back there with Marcus Williams. I think we have a really good, talented secondary that can actually cover. I mean, like, if you want to straight up go man-to-man, I think we can cover. If you want to play zone, I think we have some ball-hawking corners like Marcus Peters and our safety Marcus Williams are both excellent zone players who can get some interceptions. I think Marlon's also showing that part of his game this year. Already has multiple picks and showing some good ball skills. Mr. West says they will put it together. Ravens should win 2 of the next 3 Super Bowls. Man, I hope you're right. I think when you look at the talent on this team, we have the talent. There's no question we have the talent on offense. We can be one of the top offenses in the NFL. We are right now. Literally, we are. On defense, you've seen the secondary. You've seen the way they shut down the number one pass offense in the entire NFL today. We have that capability, that potential. but can we tap into it? Can the coaches get the most out of these players? Can we show up and finish games? Because we should be 4-0 right now with 4 conference wins, having the number 1 seed in the AFC right now, going into a Cincinnati game 4-0 with a division on lock. But we found a way to lose games. And if you guys, this is what I want to talk to you guys about as well. In 2019, you guys saw we were so good, and no matter what type of game it was, if it was a shootout, if it was a run game, defense, special teams, whatever type of game it was, we found a way to win. We were very good at closing out games with our run game, playing complementary football. But it's like our team has not found that mojo, that vibe yet to really complement each other. Blade Brown, I appreciate you, man. You were my second ever super chat. Brandon Bagley is my first, so I appreciate you guys. Definitely have to do something for that. I appreciate y'all. He said, dude, stop. You know the weather helped out that helpless defense. Without the rain, the Bills put up 40 easy. I don't know, man. I appreciate the super chat, but I thought our corners were sticky. Yeah, the weather may have helped out our defense, but it doesn't change the fact that when you look at the coverage, these corners were in their right hip pocket the whole time. Even if it was dry and the receivers had a better chance to catch the ball, they still had tight coverage. And we did well in the run game. Pass rush got after it some. Matabike, Adafeowe. So Joe Spawn said, what do you think of our O-line? Well, let me tell you, man. I think our O-line has played good football pretty much throughout the year when it comes to pass protection. I thought we've protected Lamar pretty well. Patrick Ricard's been a big part of that, helping keep Lamar clean. And you've seen the games where Lamar was kept clean and he's dotting up defenses down the field, hitting Mark Andrews and seam routes, hitting Rashad Bateman deep, Devin Duvernay. I like our O-line, and they're getting better when it comes to run blocking. Today, though, however, it wasn't the best O-line performance like we said earlier. Saw multiple times where Lamar was backpedaling, trying to throw the ball off his back foot or scrambling around. He didn't have quite the time and the clean pocket that he normally did. Now, part of that is because, A, the Bills' pass rush is one of the best in the league. Von Miller, Greg Russo, and Tim Settle's a really underrated pass rusher, a free agent they brought in from the Commanders. And then B, we still don't have Ronnie Stanley, and you're trotting out your rookie fourth-round right tackle Daniel Falele, expecting him to block, Von Miller or Greg Russo. So I think once we get this last piece with Ronnie Stanley on the left side, you're gonna see this offense go to another level. I'm telling you, man. You've seen how good this offense has been. Yeah, we've stalled out, today. The weather, everything like that. But once you see Ronnie Stanley come back and Lamar has legit time and confidence to sling the ball downfield, you're going to see, and he's no slouch in the run game either. Ronnie Stanley is going to unlock another dimension of this offense, because right now you're seeing, if you watch some of the play calls that Greg Roman's thrown out there, he is purposely trying to protect Falele. Okay, when I say that, he's keeping another guy in that could be running a route, or blocking for a screen type of play or whatever. He's keeping an extra guy in to try to hide Daniel Falele's weakness right now, which is fine. He's a rookie. I don't expect him to be on an island with Von Miller. But once you can, reasonably expect your all-pro left tackle to hold up against some top-end pass rushers, and you can get some more guys into the route, which, by the way, we saw J.K. Dobbins has been a weapon in the pass game so far. It's going to unlock a new dimension of this offense, and it's going to give Lamar Jackson more time to sling the ball downfield. And you also saw that we haven't been the best when it comes to our design run game in the first 3 weeks, but that's gotten better. So I like the way this run game is going, the way the O-line is performing. Bright spot today. So good to see JK get 2 TDs. You're right, man. And Slim Smith, I feel like the officials wanted Buffalo to win. That's exactly how I felt. I thought it was some piss poor officiating, some of the worst I've seen in a while. And I'm trying to, look at it objectively. If I wasn't a Ravens fan, what would I have thought of the officiating? But, I mean, some of these calls were blatant. The Robinson one comes to mind where he just gets hammered before the ball gets there. The roughing the passer was absolute BS. So, yeah. So, our next good, man. Talked about Odafe finally showing up and getting a sack and a forced fumble. Man, was it good to see him show up in a big-time game like that when we needed him most. Madubuike, another bright spot in this defense. I think if Madubuike continues to play like this and you start to see Travis Jones get comfortable, Calais Campbell's playing really well right now. Obviously had the pass deflection that led to the Marlon Humphrey interception. Odafe is coming into his own, got his first sack today. Tyus Bowser and David Ojabo both coming back soon. We don't know about Ojabo if he's coming back soon, as far as the next few weeks or not, but Bowser is on track. This pass rush could be dangerous, man, which is a weakness kind of right now on this team, but it really could be dangerous because we have the pieces. And once you see, I'm telling you, once you see Bowser, Ojabo, and Odafe consistently getting after quarterbacks, it's going to open up more one-on-ones on the inside because the right guard, left guard are going to be helping out with our edge rushers, and they're going to feed off each other. Ravens 76 be more. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, I agree with all you guys in the chat so far. Another good I want to talk about, Mike McDonald. Thought he called a heck of a game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But I thought Mike McDonald had an excellent game plan, slowed down Josh Allen, was really good with his cover schemes, and he also brought pressure a few times where it actually made Josh Allen make a quick decision, throw the ball away. So I really liked what I saw from Mike McDonald having a big bounce-back game. A lot of dudes were saying that, fire Mike, he's not ready for the NFL, should still be in college, whatever you want to say. But I thought Mike had a heck of a game, great game plan. It's what's so disappointing about this game right now is that you should be 4-0, and I keep saying it, but it's just crushing. Should be 4-0 against all AFC opponents. Should have had the win against Miami. Should have had the win against the best team in the NFL, and we're not at full strength yet. And that's what I want to say. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream, and I appreciate everyone who's come out so far, but let's talk about, optimistically, because I could come on here and whine about it and complain about it all day. The reality is you're 2-2, all right, 500. The rest of the division, no, you're tied in the division right now, okay? You need to win the division to have home field advantage in the playoffs. We can still do that, all right? We have a lot of games left, and we have the Cincinnati Bengals coming to town next Sunday. I will be at that game. I talked about it before. I live in North Carolina, but I am driving to the game because I'm going to be there, man. I'm Sunday Night Football. I have a buddy who I'm going to the game with. Went to the Cincinnati game last year in Baltimore, and we got freaking destroyed. Terrible game to go to. But we're looking for some payback. And this will be the first time that Joe Burrow is going to face, our full secondary with Marcus Peters. He was out last year. Marlon Humphrey was banged up last year. Welcome. Hello, Marcus Williams. Yeah. So I'm excited about what this defense can do going forward. I think it was a big stepping stone for our defense. Free Wi-Fi says, hard lost. Ravens offense need to find a way to close games. Yeah, man, you're right. You're absolutely right. I put this game 100% on the offense. I thought the defense played well. I think if you would have told me going into the game that the Ravens would hold the number one passing offense in the NFL with all the secondary issues we've been having and all the defensive issues we've been having, if you would have told me that they were going to hold the Buffalo Bills to 23 points, I would have laughed at you. I thought we were going to give up, 30 plus, and I thought we would have to win this game in a shootout. But the reality is we didn't need to win in a shootout because we played well on defense. We just did not do enough on offense. We talked about it twice. Offense was driving and had crucial turnovers towards the end of the game. Just absolutely crushing, man. Agnes Austin says, these refs were terrible and the refs need to be investigated for real. Yeah, we've talked about that, and man, was that painful to watch, some of this officiating. So disgusted with some of those calls. What did Mark Andrews was pure BS. You're right. I mean, the offensive PI in Mark Andrews was heinous. And it's like, if you're going to call it, just call it the same way. That's all I ask for. If you're going to call it the same way on the other side. But then you see DeMarcus Robinson get absolutely smacked before the ball comes, and you don't call it. Just annoying. Offense goes MIA in games. We need points in every quarter. You're right. 14 points in the first quarter, 6 in the second, and then just empty. 2 big zeros, big fat donuts in a third and fourth with opportunity to put up points. We just fail. We choke. I'm not going to sit here and bash on Lamar. Thought Lamar played a fine game, but we also can't exempt him from all blame. I mean, obviously, the one interception wasn't his fault. The other interception that, he had pressure in his face and he threw it up, gave his receiver a chance, and it didn't work. I didn't really like that play call, to be honest. You kept Lamar empty, so he had no one to chip, no one in the backfield like Ricard or Dobbins or anyone to help protect, and there he was running for his life, just threw up a prayer, and it didn't work out. Ravens 76B more says, plus this defense has multiple turnovers in our 4 games. It can only get better. Yeah, this defense has a lot of potential. They can flip the script at any point. This was what we were asking for last year. When, obviously last year, defense secondary was super banged up, not healthy at all. But we've been wanting turnovers here in Baltimore. But we haven't had a guy who's like has a nose for the ball like Marcus Williams since we had number 20 in town. Marcus Williams is a game changer for this defense. Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters are both turnover machines. We saw Kyle Hamilton get in on the action with the turnover. Odafe Owe got in the action today. But where's Patrick Queen, man? First round pick. Supposed to be the leader, the middle of your defense. And twice had interceptions handed to him that could have changed the game, won you the game, but it led to points because you drop them. Now, I'm not going to sit here and rag on Queen all day. I like Queen. But it just sucks, man. Sometimes big-time players have to show up and make big-time plays, and if they don't, are they big-time players? That's the question you have to ask. To me, it kind of sucks that Josh Ross is hurt. I know he's coming back. I know it's not season ending. But at this point, man, I wouldn't mind. I thought Josh Ross played a heck of a preseason. Thought he was instinctive. He was in the right spot in coverage, had pass breakups, great in the run game. I wouldn't mind throwing Josh Ross out there and see what happens. Because you have right now the defense everywhere else is playing good. Good in the secondary. Good up front. Calais Campbell batting balls. Odafe Owe now getting after the quarterback. And hopefully Justin Houston gets back against Cincinnati next week, because you guys remember last year when Justin Houston was absolutely taking Jonah Williams' lunch, man, the left tackle for Cincinnati. He was harassing Joe Burrow. Didn't have any sacks, I don't think, but he was in his face the entire day, I should say. I thought Justin Houston played really well last year, and it would be great to see him back because then you would have a nice group of rushers to get after Burrow. And I thought you saw today with the pass rush, we were able to get 3 and outs today, so we were able to we weren't gassed like we were in other games. We dominated time of possession, and we were going into this game the worst in the NFL when it came to 3 and outs. I think we forced a 3 and out percentage of 6%, which literally the worst in the NFL. So what does that mean? That means your defense was on the field a lot, allowing multiple opportunities for offenses, and you kept having a few rushers And playing that many snaps, they were completely gassed. But you saw today what a 3-and-out can do for your defense and what a strong running game can do for your defense, and it was the difference in this game. Now, maybe the issues we were having with the defense weren't so much, poor talent or poor play calling, but just the fact that our guys were tired and gassed. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about that. Queen is always in position to make an interception. Ever since he was a rookie, he just can't catch. From free Wi-Fi. Josh Bynes was the same way, but when he came back, he was grabbing everything like a different player. The play calling is what defeated us in the second half from season. Do you mean on defense or offense? Or do you think both? Kind of curious what you think on that season. Because what's crazy is every time I turn on the Ravens game, and I'm sitting there, I get the pregame jitters, man. I'm nervous. I'm excited. And I'm like, all right, what's going to happen? And I see Greg Roman going absolutely pulling into his bag, pulling out all kinds of creative play calls. And I see Ravens Twitter going off like, oh, it looks like Greg Roman finally opened the vault. The vault has been opened, right? Super creative. It's like the scripted plays on the first few drives are great. And then later on down the line, I think the defenses start to catch up to what we're doing a little bit. So I don't think we're keeping them on their toes, off balance throughout the whole game. Because at least from what I've seen so far, the offense gets off to a really hot start in the first half, and then we slow down. Last year it was funny because it was the opposite, where we got off to really slow starts, and then we would go no huddle and start to burn them in the second half. So let me know what you guys think about that. I'm really curious. Bateman needs to step up. Offense needs to protect Lamar better, and defense needs to tackle better. From Gold Line 198. You're right. 100% Gold Line. You're right, man. But I'm going to end the stream on a positive note. I'm telling you, man, this team can be dangerous. I'm sitting here, and it sucks. Let me know if I'm the only one that has their entire mood wrecked. Like, I'm sitting here having a great day. My fantasy team's winning. I'm sitting here like 20-3 with a lead, watching the game, and I'm having a great day. And then all of a sudden, we lose, and my mood goes down the drain. I sit here, I looked over to my wife. It's funny, we were up 20-3, and I said, babe, it's too good to be true, man. It's too good to be true. I'm just going to prepare my heart to get wrecked. And that's what happened. That's what happened against Miami as well. I'm sitting here thinking, man, I can sit back, not have to stress, put my feet up, check my fantasy scores, and chill. And then all of a sudden, the offense stalls, and we let a team come right back into the game. It's just not typical Ravens fashion. I mean, we've always been good under John Harbaugh with finishing games, with a run game, special teams, complimentary football. But this season, we've just failed to close out games. I mean, we were the better team today. We outplayed the Buffalo Bills, and we let them come out and squeak away a win in our home stadium. Season says a mix of both. Some plays needed to be not designed for how we play. I hear you on that. Free Wi-Fi says G-Row has never made any second-half adjustment as OC besides throw the ball to Pat. That's an interesting point because we've definitely seen him throw the ball to Pat whenever he's like, crap, the offense isn't doing anything. Throw it to Pat. Like, it's funny you mentioned that. Thaddeus McCants, appreciate you being here in the chat, man. This was a very aggressive call. It should have went just for the kick. Give the defense confidence as well. Free Wi-Fi. I think we will figure it out as long as we stay healthy. Ravens have a great offense, but they stop scoring, and the defense is not built to stop these better passing teams. Yeah, I'm telling. Once we put it all together, we have the best kicker in the league. We have, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the league. Call me Homer if you want. Lamar Jackson is incredible. You saw it, all throughout the season. And we have a defense with all-pro talent in the secondary. If this team can put it together, they can be something special. Let's hope they get it right. Like I said, 2-2. Division game, you have a chance to go up with a 3-2 with a winning record into week 6 if you take away a win on Sunday Night Football this week. Can't let this sting too long. and we got to get ready for the Cincinnati Bengals. Like I said, man, I'll be at the game screaming my head off. If any of you guys are going to be there at the game, let me know. Love to say hi, say what's up. Harbs Analytics, $150 million on the line, blowing bag, not coaching to win, not the players. It's executive coaching staff. This is about hundreds of millions of dollars. NFL entertainment downgrade for the league. Hey, so first of all, man, I appreciate everyone who came out to the live chat, the live stream tonight. We will be doing a top 5 takeaways video where I give you guys some more organized thoughts and what we can do to fix this going forward. Our top 5 takeaways, the good, the bad, and I'll break it down in a nice little short video, so be looking out for that. So Blade Brown and Brandon Bagley, man, I appreciate y'all too. Y'all are my first ever super chats. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. Thanks everyone for coming out to the chat tonight. Be looking out for our videos. We're going to be putting out some good Ravens content for you guys. Hope you guys have a great night. Don't let this game ruin your mood too much. We have a good football team, some good players. We have an MVP quarterback, so I think we're going to be just fine. We just got to put it together. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great night.